One Zambia, One Nation to present the news at 18 hours on TV2. I'm Patricia Ellis. Top stories in the news. The family of Charity Namukoko, the Lusaka woman who was shot dead by her husband on allegations of infidelity, has vowed not to bury her body. Housing and Infrastructure Minister Ronald Chitotela has assured investors and tourists that government will build infrastructure in the Northern Circuit. Also coming up in the news, President Edgar Lungu has congratulated the Zambia Under-17 team for winning the 2017 Junior COSAFA, which was hosted by Mauritius. Thank you so much for joining us. And now the news in detail. The family of Charity Namukoko, the Lusaka woman who was shot dead by her husband on allegations of infidelity, has vowed not to bury her body. This is after the deceased family and that of her husband Peter Siwale failed to agree on the transportation of the victim's body to Nakonde, Mchinga province for burial. Meanwhile, Andrew Chibesa, the man who was shot dead together with Charity and was suspected to have had an affair with her, has been put to rest at Mutumbi Cemetery in Lusaka. Details in this report.
Drama has continued unfolding following the shooting of Charity Namukoko by her husband. A TV2 news crew which visited the funeral house found Charity's family threatening to leave the body behind. This is as they travel back to Nakonde, Mchinga province. They have alleged that the deceased husband, Peter Siwale's family, is refusing to facilitate to transport the body from Lusaka to Nakonde.
So if it was sango kwa situafilwa so tulea so papolisi potulia tuikali olomero tukakwera tukale kuna konde
turefu afwebene tusende bonde tutwale kumushi nomba abapano nabakana atufeta tukwetendera maishiri shonsa isha kutwaira body ngamurefu amwebene ishibeni efe mwalachita.
But the Siwale's family says there is no money to transport the body to Nakonde for burial.
Abantu tarefu kubafurishana na ifu tureba rombati body tushikire kuno deninda amashakwe bati body ingema kuyashika kule shingi tatwakwanishi then bari rombero indara makumurumendo emwe murume abebera tindara matakwete.
Meanwhile, Andrew Chibesa, the man who was shot dead for allegedly having an affair with Charity, has been buried at Mutumbi Cemetery here in Lusaka. Andrew's family has however dispelled media reports that Andrew was picked at a lodge with Charity on the fateful day.
The truth is that young man was not found in a lodge. People, if they want to testify, they can even go and see, I think the CEO Likunde at Chelston police station to ascertain to that. He was just picked from the road.
And teachers at the school where Andrew and Charity used to work are touched by the death of their colleagues.
He was so cooperative with each and every teacher at Crown Academy. As for the woman, she just joined us just in May. Yeah, it's really sad.
It's too bad that Crown Academy has lost a vibrant teacher, a good teacher.
Police are since investigating the matter. Lucky Piri, TV2 News, Lusaka.
In another sad development, a 3-year-old girl has been burned to death in Iteji Central Province after the house she was sleeping in caught fire. The incident happened yesterday, July 30th, around 05 hours at Kakololo village after unknown people set on fire the grass-thatched house. Police spokesperson Esther Katongo has confirmed the incident in a statement availed to TV2 News in Lusaka today. Investigations have been instituted. And a man has died on the spot in Winilunga, northwestern province, after part of the anthill he was digging collapsed on him. The incident happened last Friday, July 28, 2017, around 14 hours in Senior Chief Kanongesha's area. Northwestern Province Police Commissioner Oxencio Daka has confirmed identifying the deceased as Albert Nyamakanga, aged between 25 and 35, of Mukangala village. Mr. Daka has said the deceased was digging the anthill for soil to use to mold bricks. Just now we take a break, but But still ahead in the news, a student at DMI St. Eugene University appears in court for defamation of President Edgar Lungu. Plus other stories. We'll be back in a moment. We'll continue with the news. The Zambia Revenue Authority ZRA tax amnesty ends today, July 31st, 2017. And Finance Minister Felix Mtati is expected to give a comprehensive statement on the amnesty. The amnesty, which was initiated in April this year, is meant to afford businesses and individuals to pay their tax arrears. ZRA Corporate Affairs Manager Topsy Sikalinda has told ZNBC in a telephone interview that 384 million kwacha has been raised from the initiative. Mr. Sikalinda has also said business entities that have not cleared their tax accounts will be visited with a new enforcement strategy that will be implemented immediately the amnesty initiative has expired. Now, Housing and Infrastructure Minister Ronald Chitotela has assured investors and tourists that government will build infrastructure in the Northern Circuit as part of efforts to promote tourism in Luapula Province. Mr. Chitotela says following the successful hosting of the Luapula Expo and Investment Conference, government will move in swiftly and build facilities which will attract more tourists. More in this report.
It is one of the best waterfalls in Zambia. However, the Rumangwe Falls, which is located at the boundary of Mpokoso district in the Northern Province and Kawambwa district in Luapula Province, is not known to most Zambians. The falls has this huge volume of water plunging to the ground throughout the year, and it doesn't dry up like the Victoria Falls does in Livingstone. And this was the scene for the last activities for the just ended Luapula Expo and Investment Conference. Dozens of delegates and investors were driven from Mansa to the falls to enjoy its view, and most of them were shocked at its beauty.
In fact, one of my colleagues was asking, what month is this, because of the amount of water that is going down there. It's amazing, because sometimes when you go to Livingstone, there are certain months when you don't have as much water, but here there's so much water. It's amazing, really.
Actually, I didn't expect to see such a sight. I expected that maybe we are talking about a small falls, but I'm surprised actually it can be mistaken for the Victoria Falls. I'm very excited actually to be here.
However, there is no infrastructure at the falls. This has become a lesson to government.
Just broadening the economic activities of this country, because we have a duty as government to develop Zambia as a way of saying thank you to the Zambian people. And as we embark on economic diversification, we cannot diversify the economy if we do not put up supporting requisites. And one of the supporting requisites is infrastructure development. Yes, I have taken your challenge seriously that we need to put up infrastructure here. As we have begun, my ministry, and through the support of His Excellency, will continue supporting Luapula administration so that together we can develop this area.
Meanwhile, the Luapula Province administration has declared the Expo as a success. Luapula Province Permanent Secretary Buletin Semukira says government is hopeful that investment will now increase in the province.
So we exposed all these resources about Luapula. We had a conference and we were privileged to have His Excellency the President, and we discussed the same themes in terms of the priorities for Luapula of agriculture, forestry, fisheries, livestock, energy, tourism, mining, and of course infrastructure. So really that's what we have been able to do, to expose Luapula, to also expose the challenges in Luapula.
All along, visitors to Rumangwe Falls only had the chance to view it on the Mpokoso side, which is in the Northern Province. But the district administration in Kawambwa has now opened its side where visitors can also view it on the Luapula side. Posharala, ZNBC News in Kawambwa district, Luapula Province.
A student at DMI St. Eugene University has appeared in the Lusaka Magistrate Court on 3 counts of defamation of the president and 1 count of using insulting language. In the first count, Edward Mackay, aged 28, is on April 20th, 2017, alleged to have posted on his Facebook account a defamatory statement against President Edgar Lungu. The suspect is on May 4th and June 24th, 2017, respectively, further alleged to have made more postings on his Facebook page language insulting the president. Mackay is further alleged to have used insulting language against Home Affairs Minister Stephen Kampyongo in a manner likely to give provocation and likely to break public peace. The suspect is scheduled to appear for mention and plea before Magistrate Humphrey Chitalu at a later date. We go for another break, and thereafter we continue with more news. To stay with us. We continue with the news. Information Minister Kampamba Mlenga says there is need for the country to increase capacity for local film producers in the country. The minister was speaking today in Lusaka during the launch ceremony of Beijing TV drama and movies broadcasting season in Africa. Here's a report.
Is Beijing, the capital city of China.
Star Times of China, in partnership with the Chinese government, have been hosting a TV drama and movie season in Africa for the past 4 years. A series of Chinese films and TV dramas are screened to African audiences during this period. This event is part of the Sino-Africa Cultural Exchange programs. This year, Zambia is the host country for the 2017 Beijing TV drama and movie season in Africa. Minister of Information Broadcasting Services Kampamba Mlenga officiated at the launch of the 2017 Beijing TV drama and movies broadcasting season in Africa.
This is indeed a timely event, as digital migration will see more local players enter the TV broadcast market, and the creation of quality content will be central in sustaining the budding film industry. With the establishment of provincial television stations, we are certain to see more opportunities to produce local films and television dramas.
Star Times Group is looking to expand its franchise in Africa.
Star Times started expanding its business in Africa since 2002, and now it has established its branches in 35 African countries with almost 10 million subscribers, which makes Star Times the fastest growing digital television operator in Africa with greatest influence.
And the Zambia National Broadcasting Corporation Director General Richard Mwanza said the national broadcaster is impressed with the development of the film industry.
ZNBC is passionate about telling compelling and socially conscious stories. Zambia has a story to tell the outside world. And I hope as the team is going to the rural areas to showcase, we can learn one or two things as ZNBC, that we too, we can go out there to create stories and bring back the content to show to the world, including China.
Various stakeholders, including Chinese ambassador, also addressed the gathering.
China and Zambia support each other on issues related to each other's core interests and major concerns, and closely cooperate on international and regional issues.
Beijing houses 80% leading enterprises in film and TV industry, which recruit 80% of the production professionals. 300 movies are produced annually in Beijing, taking up half of the annual output of China.
The Beijing TV drama and movie season in Africa has so far been screened in Kenya, Rwanda, Tanzania, and Nigeria. Ruth Mwale, ZNBC News, Lusaka.
The Ministry of Lands has released 1 million kwacha for demarcating of boundaries for all chiefdoms in the country. This is in order to end land and boundary disputes among traditional leaders. Central Province Minister Sidney Mshanga has disclosed this in Mumbwa in a speech read on his behalf by Deputy Provincial Permanent Secretary Felix Mangwato. This was during the Ikubilialongo traditional ceremony of the Sala people of Mumbwa and Shibuyunji districts. And Senior Chief Shakumbila has commended government for its commitment towards fostering peace in the country and uplifting the lives of ordinary Zambians through various developmental programs. The senior chief said this in a speech read on his behalf by senior headman Shikatende during the ceremony. We go for our final break, and thereafter we have sports news coming up. Now the rest of the news. President Edgar Lungu has congratulated the Zambia Under-17 team for winning the 2017 Junior COSAFA, which was hosted by Mauritius. The president has said the splendid performance and ultimate victory over Mauritius is a clear indication of Zambia's bright future for soccer. He has added that the marvelous performance by the team shows that the country is an oasis of talent which can be tapped for the senior Chipolo Polo. President Lungu has further noted that the Under-17 team has made the country proud, and it is his prayer that the team will be consistent in performance to bring greater glory to the nation. The president has also extolled the coach Numba Mumamba and the technical Ben team for their resilience to bring victory home. This is contained in a statement availed to TV2 Sports by the president's special assistant for press and public relations, Amos Chanda. The Handball Association of Zambia says it has identified schools as the best way of growing the sport of handball in the country. Association General Secretary Joseph Changa says this is why the association has lined up a number of training programs to empower schools with knowledge on sports administration.
We really need to capacity build the head teachers, because they are the ones who run schools. Once they got a clear understanding of how to manage sport in schools, then that will also make it easier for different sporting associations to run talent identification programs in those schools. Because like in the past, it has been a challenge, because you find that head teachers, they don't understand what is involved in sport. But the moment they are capacitated, then meaning that they will be able to treasure, they will be able to dedicate themselves to running different sporting courts in their schools, and that will make it easier to come up with top class athletes.
On that note, we come to the end of the news. Let's now recap on the top stories. The family of Charity Namukoko, the Lusaka woman who was shot dead by her husband on allegations of infidelity, has vowed not to bury her body. This is after the deceased family and that of her husband, Peter Siwale, failed to agree on the transportation of the victim's body to Nakonde, Muchinga province for burial. Housing and Infrastructure Minister Ronald Chitotela has assured investors and tourists that government will build infrastructure in the Northern Circuit as part of efforts to promote tourism in Luapula province. Mr. Chitotela says following the successful hosting of the Luapula Expo and Investment Conference, government will move in swiftly and build facilities which will attract more tourists. And finally in the news, President Edgar Lungu has congratulated the Zambia Under-17 team for winning the 2017 Junior COSAFA, which was hosted by Mauritius. The president has said the splendid performance and ultimate victory over Mauritius is a clear indication of Zambia's bright future for soccer. That ends the news at 18. Do join me for another news broadcast at 20 hours. Bye-bye for now.